Hello, I'm Charlie Brooker and you're watching Weekly Wipe, a programme all about things that are happening. Things like this. The contaminated beef scandal continues to deepen. It turns out some Findus lasagnas may have had more horse in them than Catherine the Great. As angry consumers blame the government, David Cameron promises he's going to get a firm grip on your meat.
The Pope gives up poping for Lent. Many are shocked.
You're jogging. The Pope. Oh, my God.
A furious God shocked the Vatican and in startling scenes hurled a rock at the planet in response to the Pope stepping down.
Or maybe he's just angry about gay marriage. It's hard to tell with God. He's ever so weird.
Meanwhile, this roof indicates Barclays will elect the new Pope. And in astonishing scenes, David Beckham forgets his kit and is forced to do his thrilling new advert in his pants.
That is the kind of thing that's been happening. But we start here.
Don't know about you, but when I ate a burger, I used to think, what a tasty compacted disc of minced tissue scrapings blasted off a cow carcass with a high-pressure hose and a fly-blown abattoir ringing with the incoherent, agonised howls of simple beasts dying from a single bolt gun shot to the forehead. But now it turns out it might not have been as appetising as that.
Good evening. Supermarket shelves are being cleared of frozen burgers tonight after reports that some contain DNA from horses.
A few weeks ago, the news went a bit silent witness Tesco edition as cheap burgers were being illegally cut with horse.
Being caught out flogging a dead horse was bad publicity for Tesco. Many of us don't want to eat horse. We're not barbarians. Although barbarians are precisely the people Tesco apparently use to choose produce for their customers, as their alarming new ad campaign makes clear. That's the last time you're going to see that falcon, unless you pick up some meatballs on the way out. Obviously, you can't trust flipping Conan here to possibly tell the difference between a cow and a horse. I mean, look, he probably thinks that avocado's a dragon's egg. Mind you, you never know what weird mash-up food you're going to get in Tesco.
Those were probably laid by a horse. Bet that melon's full of pig guts, and f*** knows how you make tiger loaf.
And it wasn't just horse rearing up unexpectedly. It was also revealed some halal prison food contained an insulting amount of pig. Halal meat eaters were as stunned as halal cows aren't. But the steady gallop of nasty food stories was about to become a stampede, as the top story basically became, ugh.
The horse meat scandal deepens. Findus lasagnas have been found to contain up to 100% horse meat.
100% horse meat? That is a complete mare.
By now, the revelations were piling up like mangled horses at Beecher's Brook, and the news was full of more pink, meaty, glistening close-up shots than a year's subscription to Penthouse, as well as upsetting testimony from members of the public dismayed to discover they may have unwittingly noshed off a horse.
For Alfie Green, beef lasagna was a tea-time favourite. Not anymore.
So, will you be eating any more of these?
No, not no more, we won't. Definitely not.
Oh, come on, let's not be too hasty. Don't go mad, you'll miss out on this kind of gourmet experience. Ah, I bet your mouth's watering at home. To discuss the grim scandal, Sky paraded a paddock full of food experts on screen, some of whom did their best to lighten the distressing news by describing the crisis in the voice of Ronnie Corbett.
Well, what's supposed to happen is that the supermarket checks on your behalf. Supermarkets are the experts in food.
You know what? He may sound funny, but he really knows the food chain.
No, we talk about the food chain, and at one end, meat comes out, and cows normally go in. But somewhere in the food chain, horses came in and meat came out.
This guy is good. This whole thing has been a PR disaster for Findus, which is a shame because their lasagnas always look really nice in the lovingly shot adverts. I mean, look at that, no hooves sticking out of it or anything. That's it, son. Eat your horse. Giddy up.
In the pre-horse meat scandal days, Findus used to run an impressively chic advert for their gourmet range.
Created by a suave French chef.
Candles, wine, music, and the secret weapon. A recipe from Jean-Christophe Novelli himself.
Yes, Jean-Christophe Novelli used to be the credible face of Findus lasagna, prepping the food in a notably horseless kitchen. Wonder if he's ever used horse. I mean, I'm sure if he has, he only used the finest quality Parisian horse.
Created by me, frozen by Findus.
And ridden by jockeys.
We've been asked to point out that Jean-Christophe Novelli has in no way been implicated in the horse meat scandal. Of course, thanks to television, we've become accustomed to seeing food prepared in picturesque kitchens like this, whereas as Sky News starkly depicted, Findus lasagnas are actually made in places like this. In fact, rather than friendly Findus, they're actually manufactured by the less appetising sounding Comigel, who supply lovingly mass-produced frozen dead animal gobble pots for companies all over Europe, the trail of suspect meat being detailed on the news like a map from Invasion of the Edible Horse creatures. In fact, thanks to the charming accompanying footage we've seen of the depressing interiors of food processing plants, the whole thing is starting to feel uncomfortably close to the plot of the superbly depressing 70s dystopian epic Soylent Green, in which Charlton Heston discovers processed food is being manufactured from the corpses of recently euthanised people.
If I was the food industry, which I'm not, I'd actually turn the uncertainty over what's in our meat into a plus. I'd market it as the safari in your mouth burger. It's an entire animal kingdom in a bun. Who knows what you're going to get? It could be cow, pig, horse, meerkat, or all of the above. The horse meat scandal has generated much discussion, some of it online, as we'll see now. These are your words, your opinions, it's what you think. It's Points Off of You in Points Off You. The news that horse meat has been found in beef products has made many people very angry. For instance, Muso felt driven to visit Yahoo to ponder, I wonder who has been tampering with it. I think we might find out it's related to immigrants. I think you'll find the horses were immigrants, Romanian immigrants at that, coming over here taking British cows' jobs. Food Minister David Heath popped up all over the news to reassure consumers, urging them not to needlessly throw meat away, a sentiment that annoyed Sam, who went to the BBC News site to say, how dare the government tell us what we can and cannot do? If I want to bin meat, that is my choice, my right. I'm half tempted to ruin lots of meat to make a point. Well, good luck with that, Sam, although I'd say you'd be hard-pressed to make the point any more cogently than you just did. The BAFTAs were held on Sunday, which made for glittering and exciting viewing. Helen Mirren shocked and stunned everyone watching with a snazzy new pink hairdo. Her new hairstyle prompted much discussion. For instance, E went on to Yahoo to say, my kid's primary school headmistress had pink flashes in her white blonde hair, and she was a mature lady. She was a fantastic headmistress and led the way with her mantra, in a multicultural school, that everyone was special. Individual creativity was applauded and there was no school uniform. The school had excellent discipline and great results. School uniforms stifle individuality and creativity. Food for thought there. Although I'm not sure it's entirely relevant to the topic under discussion here. Thank you anyway. P, meanwhile, similarly expressed admiration for Helen's hair, stating simply, defo worth a bang. Oh, P, you are a card.
The One Show usually has these guests, like someone off Waterloo Road or a bloke who knows shitloads about the history of tarmac. But the other day, there was this bald bloke on, and I was across the room, and I thought, oh, it's Jesper Carrot. Maybe they're doing Golden Balls again. But it wasn't Jesper Carrot, it was Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis, right, had done this film called A Good Day to Die Hard, and it had this brilliant trailer full of like amazing things happening, like explosions and more explosions, which is brilliantly done. All the fire looks hot and everything.
Hardly anyone seemed to have seen this Die Hard 5 thing till just before it came out. It was like the film people were keeping it secret, so no one could spoil it for you by saying, hey, it's brilliant, just before you paid to see it. But Matt Baker and Alex Jones had seen it, and they obviously loved it because they kept telling Bruce Willis it was great.
And it is absolutely incredible. You've raised the bar as far as action movies are concerned.
Bruce Willis seemed sort of humble about how good he knew the film was. Like he could hardly talk about it, it was so humble.
And it has that Die Hard oomph to it, so...
Seriously, he was so torn up with pride, he just had to look at the floor and hardly say anything. Like when they asked if his daughters had seen it.
Have the girls seen the film?
Like you could see in his eyes, he was really proud of this film. The exciting looking film where he machine guns all the terrorists for like the 5th time, which looks brilliant. He's managed to make the same film 5 times without dying on the inside, or looking like he doesn't really have much enthusiasm for the whole fucking thing anymore and he just wishes it would stop. That's not what he looks like.
Matt Baker, right, introduced a clip from Moonlighting, and you could tell Bruce was excited.
A lot of people will remember you from Moonlighting back in '85. It kind of launched you, didn't it? Let's just remind ourselves, for all those that may have forgotten. Here we go.
Moonlighting looked brilliant, sort of effervescent, like full of life. but not as good as the new film that looks amazing with all the stuff that blows up and the exciting shooting and everything, and all the computerised pictures where everything explodes and the big writing and the banging and the booming sounds. In terms of noise alone, it's probably the best film ever. Later they mentioned Bruce's singing career when he did Under the Boardwalk, and he was chuffed they brought that up.
You should sing Under the Boardwalk.
Oh, well...
They showed a bit of it, actually, all that entertaining footage of him singing these classic songs in front of some black blokes in the 80s. It was great. Not as great as the film he's done, that looks really incredible with all the helicopters and the death in it, obviously, because that's amazing. Then he sort of made a sound with a harmonica and got a nice round of applause. And I thought, oh, he must have overcome something. That's why they're being nice. Good for you, Bruce. Hope the film makes loads of money. I really do, because it looks good, that film, with all the amazing explosions and the shooting in it and the helicopter and everything. And then him killing people, like really killing lots of people with guns, like people with mums and dads in histories. And he just mows them all down because they're sort of bad, probably. I don't know, I haven't seen it. But I expect they are, otherwise he's a fucking murderer.
I always thought all marriages were same-sex marriages. After all, married couples end up having the same sex over and over again until it's as emotionally involving as flossing your teeth. So on the face of it, the thought of two people with matching ghoulies walking down the aisle seems about as controversial as, I don't know, two people who are quite into Game of Thrones getting married. But apparently, it's a bit more controversial than that.
The recent Commons vote on same-sex marriages exposed ructions in the Tory party as the modernisers went up against the traditionalists.
I say traditionalists, but the traditional argument has actually changed. The traditional argument against anything gay used to be, bummers, I don't like it. I mean, not so long ago, even the BBC could openly express that attitude.
For many of us, this is revolting, men dancing with men.
That is revolting. They'll be too tired to f*** each other afterwards. But today's modern progressive traditionalists accept the notion of gay sex, as long as it's not in their backyard or rammed down their throat. And a handful of them repeatedly popped up on the news to explain their opposition to gay marriage is nothing to do with bedroom squeamishness, no. It's to do with other issues, such as timing. I mean, why now when there are more important issues?
It's not the priority, the economy's the priority.
In 26 years as an MP, I never once got a letter calling for gay marriage.
Oh, that's a shame. You're quite a good-looking bloke. I'd marry you.
Another objection widely voiced across the news is that this is an attempt to redefine marriage.
The significant number in his party will not support what they see as an attempt to redefine marriage.
We are changing the definition of marriage.
A redefinition of marriage.
We begin to live in sort of Alice in Wonderland. We begin to make things topsy-turvy. We begin to redefine language.
It's an interesting philosophical point, but surely if I choose to redefine a spoon as something I shove up my arse, it doesn't stop you enjoying your pudding unless I used your spoon.
But perhaps the biggest objection widely voiced across the news is that David Cameron simply doesn't have a mandate for this kind of thing.
Neither the Prime Minister nor any of the other party leaders has a mandate.
There's no mandate for this at all.
There's no mandate.
No mandate.
No mandate. He has got no mandate. No mandate. No mandate.
No mandate? Well, if Cameron's got no mandate, maybe he can borrow some from Sacha Distel.
Hello, I am Sacha Distel. They asked me to try mandate, and now I wear it all the time because it's sophisticated, long-lasting, and very sexy. This is not fiction. This time it's for real. Mandate sings my songs. Not just a fun thing, like some kiss and run thing. Forever was part of a deal. Mandate speaks my language.
Yes, as this masculine and evocative ad artfully demonstrates, mandate is the sole reserve of heterosexuals.
And when I'm relaxing, need I say more? It's all right, she's my wife.
Oh, thank God for that. I thought it was your husband. And you don't have a mandate for that, you mucky Frenchman.
Mandate says a lot for a man.